on, Cassie.
Hi, I missed you, my friend.
Welcome back to Inspiration Education, digital mode, online mode.
Hey, listen, this episode is going to be about survival techniques for all of our colleagues out there. You want to talk about us being amazing and having to totally revamp how we teach our curriculum at the drop of a hat in response to a national epidemic, well, really a global pandemic.
Global. Yeah, big shout out to all of you teachers. 100% of you guys are amazing. Everything that I've been reading online, it's like, pay teachers more because they went from 0 to 100 in doing this, like you said, at a drop of a hat, and are doing a fantastic job. So props to all of you guys out there.
Right, so we are currently video conferencing our episode 30.
Practicing our social distancing.
Exactly, and so I'm at my home, Chan is at her home, she's sipping tea, I've got mine here, this is my little Starbucks Tucson cup, so cheers to all of us trying to keep our social distancing and be safe out there.
Exactly, and we realize a lot of you are parents as well, and you've got kids, and so you guys are all doing an unbelievable job. I'm sure you are.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what we thought we'd do for this episode is just try to share with you some of the techniques that we have learned in a crash course ourselves over the last week, which, if I'm being honest, I've learned about that much, but I still feel like what I've learned is valuable and you can take away, because Chan and I'll be totally transparent with you. Chan and I joined a video conference earlier this week that was that was sent to us via our school email by third source, and we won't give out the names and that kind of thing, but we both were like texting each other as we're watching this, and we're like, this wasn't what it was advertised to be. It wasn't helpful. It didn't give us any tools to be more successful as online teachers, which is what it was advertised to do, right?
So, what we're working hard on is being okay with the messy. Not everything is going to work perfectly, whether it's video conferencing or the digital tools that we use. Being okay with the messy, being okay with trying things out, and for us, for me personally, that's sometimes really hard to be okay with that. But we've got to remember to be okay with that for ourselves and with that for our students as we're all making this transition.
Right. So what we wanted to start off with is actually what we're using right now. So the online video conferencing tool that we're using right now is called Zoom.
Zoom.
ZOOM.us.
We like the layout and the easeability of how to do the screens and to share presentations.
Yeah, and so I'll post a link for you on our comments. And actually the really cool thing about Zoom right now is that they're offering it completely free to all educators and all students out there. It was literally as easy as me hitting sign up via Google, because we use Google for our school Gmail and that kind of thing. It instantly recognized that I was a teacher, and I was in like literally in seconds.
You know, a lot of companies have been doing that. I've discovered a whole bunch of them out there, and ones that I regularly use, they're offering all sorts of free subscriptions. So we'll try and highlight some of those today.
Right. Okay, so Zoom, we suggest that maybe this could be something that you could use, like if you want to have your students all collaborate with you and be synchronized. If you wanted to offer that for your students, this would be a great way to do that. Or if maybe you need to keep in touch with your colleagues out there and you want to collaborate and that kind of thing, Zoom might be the way to go.
Right on.
Yeah. So another thing that we wanted to show you is what's called Loom, L-O-O-M.
This is our new favorite, isn't it? Oh, sorry, I spoke over the website. My bad. Go ahead, say the website again.
Loom.com.
And it has become our new favorite tool. A number of our teachers at our high school are using it.
Right. So what we thought we'd do is we'd share our screen so that you can see some of the ways in which we've used it. And so I don't know, let's give that a try. I am going to minimize this right here, and I'm going to share my screen, and then Chan's going to share her screen. So here we go. So you should be able to see my screen right now, and I am going to go to Loom. So here's the website I was telling you, loom.com. Let me see, let me move our little people there. So there we are. Now you should be able to see us here on the side.
That's another advantage of Zoom, that you can move the tiles around of the people who are speaking. It's
right,
great.
right. So if you go to loom.com, this is also a free platform for you to use. The thing that I found about Loom, though, is it won't let you do this video conference that we're doing right now. It's specifically so that you can share yourself and your desktop with other people. So in this case, I have already created today, I've spent all morning recording for my classrooms. And as you can see right here, I've done one for my photography class, for my government class, US history, and then I've also created a special personalized message for my Skills Center students who might need some special additional instructions for accommodations or for modifications. What would be another in the public school system, maybe instead of Skills Center, what would you call that, Chan?
Probably there's resource center, or yeah, most likely a resource center.
Okay.
Yeah, for the support team.
Right, right. So I thought I would just share, just quickly so you can see, for example, how I have done this. So when I click on this, you can see that I've created, you can create your own special title, whatever you want to call it. You can actually trim. So let's say that you get going and you kind of stutter or mutter over your words and you want to cut some of that out. Maybe you fluffed your hair and you don't necessarily want your kids to see that. You can actually trim it, and it's very, very simple to do. But anyway, if we could just listen and let me just show you this really quick. Okay, so US history classes, A and B, 4th period and 5th period. Okay, so you can see that you have me down here recording. You could actually also switch this if you want, so it's just a gravatar if you would rather that. But I wanted the kids to actually be able to see me, and then I go through and I start walking them through everything that I want them to see. It's like a mini lecture for my students, and also as a way for them to kind of stay up to date with what's going on in the classroom. So I'll just show you
in this particular case, it's great so you can give an overview of what you guys are going to be doing. So, you can walk the kids through it just like you would in the classroom. So you're hoping to make expectations very clear, targets really clear,
right?
And hopefully the kids can feel a comfort about that, about knowing what's going on. They're hearing it directly from you, and not all these words on a screen, right?
Right, exactly. So I went over it just as I would if I were in the classroom. Okay, students, we're going to do 3 things today. And then I said 1, 2, and 3. I show them 1, 2, and 3, and then I review 1, 2, and 3. So, I miss you guys so much. I hope you guys are all okay. So then finish after. Let me show you how I can go through the class. Step 5 should have been finished. That was where you actually did your interview. Okay, so you can see how I've used my cursor, and it actually highlights and it walks them through my actual desktop, and I'm sharing my desktop with them, and I'm actually walking them through specifically what I would have done in the classroom.
It's awesome.
Okay, so I'm gonna unshare my desktop, and I'm gonna let Chan go ahead and do hers.
Well, I think a lot of you guys know that I'm a science teacher. So what this presents for me is how in the world am I going to, gotta find where I'm at. What happened? Oh, there it is. Share, sorry. All right, so for me, I'm a science teacher. So how in the world am I going to continue to be able to have basically a lab course, right? The good news where I was in terms of lab is we had done pretty much all of the in-lab work. What you all may or may not know is that I'm actually did a lot of research as an ecologist. So the last quarter of our semester for me in my regular biology class has always been ecology based, so the diversity of living things. So what I decided to do is create an online platform for their lab work. So I'm really excited to share this with you. So I don't know if you guys have heard of Padlet. Padlet is this amazing resource where it's collaborative. If you want, they give you three Padlets for free. But of course you can upgrade and get more. But when you go, check out the gallery first, and you can get some ideas of different ways in which you can arrange some of the postings. I clicked on a couple of them. You know, they have a timeline version where you can set things up all in timelines. You can also have versions where there's another timeline version, sorry. Where you can also, you can use maps. So students can post different bits of information on a map. It's actually pretty nifty, some of the different things they can do. So what I set up, by the way, you can, go through the gallery or whatever. And then, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, we use that map Padlet in my westward expansion unit as a history teacher, so that the students can sort of connect how our country was growing.
Right, and actually it turned out pretty cool if I remember right. And it was again, it was a collaborative way to kids see all the different things that they had found, and it created like this cohesive jigsaw, right? And so there's a lot of cool things that can be done collaboratively. I used it before in first semester to do a cell unit. You can set up topics. And the cool thing about it is that you can post videos. So you can post videos. You can set up how you want to do, lay out how you want to do your inquiry, your goals. I mean, all sorts of ways. Like this particular way, I like how you can basically columnize what you want to do. In this one, I even set up my exit tickets in there, and then you'll notice that people can also comment as they work. So anyway, this is what I did. Is I basically set up both of my classes with an essential question about celebrating the diversity of living things, and then this is literally going to be a collaborative online journal. So everybody can see it, and the cool thing is when the kids create, of course I'm going to use Loom to explain how to set this up and how to do it, and walk them through it. Each kid is going to have their own login with their own name. So kids won't be able to post on other kids' links. They can only post on theirs. And so what I've set up in Google Classroom is I've set up go take a picture of a living thing and make a post. And then our next posting is going to be identify what you found using iNaturalist. So iNaturalist is this really cool app that I use on my phone all the time. You take a picture, you upload it, and boom, it gives you an automatic classification of that living thing. So I'm just going to keep layering this. I'm going to have a requirement where kids are here, where kids are just going to be able to, let me finish the post here. Then I'm going to require them to make comments on what people have talked about. So we're just going to keep building this online portfolio, and I'm really excited for just using a bunch of interdisciplinary tools to do it. So there you go. There's my really cool thing to share with you guys.
So I love how you've provided a way to keep the online community going, because, if we were in our actual classrooms, we would be actually talking with our students.
Yeah.
Students would be talking with each other.
Yeah.
And so how do you bridge that gap online? And you've provided one way for students to be able to converse, if you will, with each other through Padlet. I thought it would be good to show another way in which students can do that to continue the conversation. So let me share my screen again. And I'm going to take you over to Google Classroom. Okay. So this is my US history class, and I have created in an effort to kind of keep the conversations going. So this is one of the ways in which, let me go ahead and make us so we can see.
What you guys need to know about Cassie's classroom as she's doing this, they are highly discussion oriented. So I can only imagine that the kids are actually really missing the vitality and robustness of those discussions right now. So trying to kind of recreate that online is really important.
Absolutely. And actually, that's something that I talked about in the video that I recorded for them. If you recall, nope, that would not be it. If you recall here, here were some of the videos that I talked to them about, hey, I miss you guys and I want to continue that conversation and that kind of thing. And I posted that here. And so everyone is watching that video right now in anticipation of how I've set up the classroom from here on out until our government decides, or our city rather decides, hey, it's safe for us to come back into the classroom together. So how do you continue those conversations online? Chan showed you one way in which you can do that through Padlet. You can also do that through Google Classroom. So if you're not familiar, Google Classroom provides multiple ways of getting your information over to your students. You can create assignments, you can post material, and you can also do, you can actually post tests and quizzes and things like that. But the one that I wanted to get across to you today is discussion questions. That's something that I've used all year long in my classroom as a way to continue. It's actually twofold. One, it's college prep. So if the kids decide that they want to go to college and they want to take online courses, which really is a big trend right now, as you all are well aware, discussion questions are a must. They're definitely going to come across them. So this is one way that I help prepare them for that. The other reason why discussion questions are important is because, you know, we all know that there are some students that are not super comfortable with sharing their ideas in the classroom with their peers. But being able to offer them an online platform for that really ups their comfort level and gives them the opportunity for their voice to be heard. So how do you do that? Well, if you're in your Google Classroom here and you go, they've made an update this year where they have a classroom tab, and you go to create, you can actually go here to question.
Right. What are your requirements for responding to student responses? But how do you do that?
Right. So here's what I've done for this week. Nope, that won't be it. So it's grayed out because right now it's still a draft. I don't have it posted. I won't let it post until Monday. But here's where I've actually put those requirements. So their discussion question is here. And then it's going to post on Monday, and they're required to respond to my post by Tuesday, and then provide a substantive response, something that continues the conversation. You can see here by Thursday, and then one more response to appear by Friday.
Right.
So if the question were, what's your favorite breed of dog? They would respond to that. And then a substantial post would not be if I said my favorite breed of dog is a Dachshund, and then Chan said, that's awesome. Well, that doesn't continue the conversation, does it?
Got to build on.
Right. But if Chan says to me, oh, well, I understand why you like Dachshunds, but actually, you know, Dachshunds are not my favorite breed of dog because their legs are too short and they can't hike with me on the trail. I actually prefer
Dachshund lovers.
Right? Now that's a substantive post that she and I now can have a conversation about. So that's what I mean by a substantive post, something that continues the conversation. So this is one way in which I'm hoping to sort of bridge the gap with my students so that they can continue those conversations. You can see here that the question is something that encourages conversation.
Oh yeah, it's got to be open-ended. It's got, yeah, the kids have to form an opinion. They have to have a good resource background information that you guys have already been doing in class. Absolutely.
Right, right. And you can see here our American history topic is about the New Deal, going back to the Great Depression, where FDR offers, you know, relief, recovery, and reform for the American people and for the American economy. And so I don't like for my students to learn about American history in a vacuum. I want them to be able to apply that to today, because that's actually
Right.
what our standards say. Don't just learn about history in a vacuum. How does that impact modern America and that kind of thing? And so
But here's something, let me add this. This is something that we found as we were researching good online platforms or structures, if you will. Keep it contextual. You know, it's really important that, everything that we do with our online learning right now has to be contextual. The kid has to be able to connect to it. And this is a really good way in which you've done that, Cassie, by connecting it to the current epidemic.
Exactly. So I'm asking the students, okay, now that you have an understanding of, because you can see here, they've got some lecture notes from me and that kind of thing to look at and review. Now that you understand what relief, recovery, and reform is, can you spot some of that going on in America today under the Trump administration, given the coronavirus? So that's something that's super relatable for them. It's obviously impacting every one of us in a very personal way, right?
Right.
Yeah. So there's so much more. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen so that we can see each other a little bit better. There's so many other things and tools that we can show each other.
And I found one related to what you were just talking about. I found an online way in which you can continue your Socratic seminars, and I'm planning on trying it out for a topic, an upcoming topic. It's called parleyideas.com. Parley, P-A-R-L-A-Y. So parleyideas.com. And it's a digital platform for doing these sorts of discussions, but it also gives you formative assessments of knowing who and how much kids are interacting. But remember the point you made that sometimes kids aren't comfortable talking in class. This particular website has done their research and shows that they've actually increased student involvement with their online platform for doing discussion. So I'm going to give it a try for something that I have coming up related to the diversity of living things.
Okay, and that might actually be a really good source for me, because my government class is a mock election, and they're supposed to be having a live debate in front of all the peers and the student body and our leadership at the school. So I'll check that out. That may be one way in which we can do it. You know, Zoom is great. You can do this here and multiple people can sign in. Our principal also had us do a video conference earlier this week, and he used Google Chat. Right?
Yes, he did. And it's interesting. You'll have one person who you can also present. I like the presentation platform in that one. And then you have all these little tiles down the side of everybody who's involved. So if you have a lot of people, it just kind of gives you a running look at it. But I think in Zoom, I think you can get everybody on the screen at the same time, which I kind of like. But yeah, if a lot of you have the Google Suite, it's right in the waffle iron in terms of choices.
So yeah, you can see here on my screen right now, I said Google Chat, but I meant Google Meet. Yeah, so you just click here, scroll down to Google Meet. This is another great way if you're using the Google Suite with your students. You can click on this and instantly they're all right here. You literally just start a meeting and you
can use Google Calendar to invite people. It's super simple.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, these are just really cool ways that we have crash coursed ourselves in the last, I don't know, week.
Less than a week for me.
But I don't know, I feel like they've helped me to become successful so far. And I don't know.
And let me add this. I think what a lot of us are finding is that we're only going to take these tools back into our regular classroom next year. It's only going to really enhance the individualization, the differentiation, the student-centeredness. I think these are all tools that are actually going to just make everything we do better next year, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
There you go.
That's it. Us talking is our content today, sandwiched in between us talking. And keeping our social distance from everyone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I personally just want to leave this episode saying, be safe. We'll be praying for you and for your loved ones out there, and for your online classrooms and for your students. This is a very, very different time for America and for the world. Although as a history teacher, I will say, and for all my fellow history teachers out there, you guys all know that these epidemics have come. You know, they're unusual viruses like SARS and MERS. Those are more recent epidemics, but we also had
the Spanish flu in 1919.
Exactly. So, you know, this too shall pass, but not without it first inflicting some real obvious and horrible things on the world population. So, you know, we miss our students, just like we know that you guys
100%.
but 100% this needs to happen to keep everybody as safe as we possibly can.
Yeah. So take risks, continue to be innovative, have fun while you're doing it, have joy while you're doing it, get outside while you do it, and just have joy in everything you do.
Yep. And that's it. We should be back next week with some more tools for online learning, because probably
we'll share some of our opportunities for improvement.
There'll be lots of room for improvement, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Hey, lifelong learning.
Right on.
Okay, we'll see you guys next week, and good luck. Best of luck to you.
Right on.
All right. Bye.
Bye.